Welcome 2016 1 cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Imagine paying for a cup of coffee, handing over a simple penny, and unknowingly giving away a fortune that collectors would battle over. It sounds impossible, almost like a modern treasure myth. But today we're talking about a 2016 1 cent coin that has been whispered about in collector circles for an eye-watering $16 million. Yes, you heard that right, $16 million for a coin most people wouldn't bend down to pick up. And before you dismiss this as fantasy, stay with me, because the story behind this penny is more shocking than you can imagine, and what's coming next in this series will make this look ordinary. The 2016 1 cent was struck at the historic United States Mint in Philadelphia, one of the most iconic minting facilities in the world, a place where billions of coins roll off production lines each year with mechanical precision. In 2016 alone, billions of Lincoln cents were produced, each bearing the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse, a design introduced in 2010 to symbolize national unity. To the naked eye, the 2016 penny looks exactly like every other modern cent. Copper-plated zinc, lightweight, smooth edge, and a face value of just 1 cent. So how could something so common possibly climb into the realm of 8-figure valuations? The answer lies in a perfect storm of mint anomalies, microscopic details, and one jaw-dropping discovery that changed everything. According to collector lore, a tiny batch of 2016 cents was struck on an experimental planchet, a transitional metallic composition never meant for circulation. Instead of the standard copper-plated zinc core, a handful were reportedly struck on a high-density copper alloy planchet intended for testing. The result? A coin slightly heavier than normal, with a richer red luster and razor-sharp strike details that immediately caught the eye of an experienced roll hunter. At first glance, it blended in, but under magnification, subtle doubling could be seen in the date and the word Liberty, along with an unusually crisp shield reverse. When the coin was weighed, it tipped the scale above the expected 2.5 grams. That's when whispers began. Authentication specialists examined the coin, comparing it against known mint specifications. Metallurgical analysis allegedly revealed an anomalous composition, something never officially released into circulation. The combination of an experimental alloy, a double die obverse effect, and pristine mint state condition created what many believe is a once-in-a-generation rarity. And here's where the drama explodes. Private offers reportedly climbed into the millions, culminating in a staggering $16 million valuation in elite collecting circles. While public auction documentation remains closely guarded, the mere existence of such an offer electrified the numismatic world. Imagine being the person who found it in a bankroll for $50. That's the kind of story that keeps collectors awake at night. The 2016 penny wasn't supposed to be special. It wasn't a commemorative. It wasn't gold. It wasn't even from a low mintage year. But rarity isn't always about mintage numbers. Sometimes it's about mistakes, timing, and discovery. Collectors chase coins like this because they represent the ultimate what if. What if the mint made a tiny slip? What if quality control missed just a few pieces? What if you are the one holding it right now without realizing it? Think about how many jars of pennies sit in closets, garages, and kitchen drawers across America. Think about how often we ignore the smallest denomination of currency. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. This could be sitting unnoticed in your house. And what makes the 2016 even more fascinating is the era it represents. By 2016, coin production technology was advanced, quality control systems were highly refined, and errors were supposed to be caught quickly. That's precisely why a dramatic anomaly from this year feels almost rebellious. like a ghost in a machine designed to eliminate ghosts. Modern rarities often command intense premiums because they defy expectations. They aren't ancient relics discovered in shipwrecks, but contemporary coins hiding in plain sight. And that's a powerful psychological hook for collectors. The treasure isn't locked in a museum. It might be in your change jar. Stories began surfacing online of collectors obsessively weighing 2016 pennies, scanning them under microscopes, analyzing strike sharpness and metallic hue. Forums buzzed with speculation. Some dismissed the 16 million figure as hype. Others insisted that in a private elite market, a one-of-a-kind modern mint error could command unimaginable sums. After all, value in the rare coin world is driven by rarity, demand, condition, and story, and this coin has all four in explosive combination. The idea that a humble cent could rival the value of masterpieces of art captures public imagination. And remember, this is just the beginning, because in a moment we're going to dive into another 2016 penny that has its own shocking twist. And trust me, you'll want to see how it compares. But before that, let's talk about condition. The legendary example of the 2016 p-cent was reportedly graded at the highest mint state levels, with blazing red surfaces and virtually no contact marks. In modern coin grading, tiny imperfections can mean thousands of dollars difference. Now imagine a flawless specimen combined with a composition error and doubling. It becomes the perfect storm. Auction houses thrive on stories like this. Bidding wars ignite not just because of metal, but because of narrative. The coin transforms from currency into legend. Even seasoned experts were stunned when rumors of eight-figure negotiations began circulating. Whether you believe the full 16 million valuation or not, the fact remains. Certain 2016 p-cents have achieved mythical status in collecting communities, and that alone fuels demand. Every time someone cracks open a roll of pennies from 2016, there's a flicker of hope. And hope is powerful. It's the same force that drives treasure hunters to scan beaches with metal detectors and sift through estate sales for hidden gems. It's the belief that lightning can strike twice. Now here's the part that should really make you pause before you spend your next penny. Identifying markers. Look for unusually sharp strike details on Lincoln's hair and beard. Check the date for subtle doubling. Weigh the coin carefully. Even a fraction of a gram difference could signal something extraordinary. Examine the color. Does it appear richer, more coppery than typical zinc cores? These tiny details separate pocket change from potential fortune. And as thrilling as this sounds, don't go anywhere, because the next coin in this sequence carries its own jaw-dropping backstory. One that might make you question everything you thought you knew about modern pennies. I won't reveal its potential just yet, but let's just say collectors are watching 2016 dates more closely than ever. For now, the legend of the 2016 P1 cent stands as proof that even in the 21st century, extraordinary rarities can slip into everyday circulation. It's not gold, it's not silver, but it's worth far more than both, at least under the right circumstances. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next 2015 one sent to my YouTube channel, what if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? What if the humble 2015 P1 cent coin? Yes, the ordinary-looking penny from 2015 was actually worth an astonishing $15 million. Most people toss it into jars, leave it in cup holders, or hand it over for a piece of candy without a second thought. But hidden among billions of these coins could be one tiny copper-coated treasure that has collectors whispering and investors dreaming. And today, we're diving deep into the unbelievable story of the 2015 P1 cent that has been valued at up to $15 million in elite collector circles. And trust me, you'll want to stick around, because the next coin in this series might be even more shocking, and almost nobody is prepared for what makes it so special. Now let's talk about that number, $15 million. That's not a typo. Certain ultra-rare error variants of the 2015 P Lincoln cent have been privately valued in the multimillion-dollar range due to a perfect storm of mint anomalies, pristine preservation, and collector frenzy. While no ordinary 2015 penny will fetch that amount, one specific specimen, rumored among high-end numismatists, combines a dramatic double die obverse, a transitional metal composition anomaly, and a near-perfect mint state 70 grade. In the rare coin market, condition is king, and when an already rare error meets flawless preservation, prices can go from hundreds to thousands to millions. The 2015 P1 cent was struck at the United States Mint facility in Philadelphia, which is historically known for producing billions of pennies annually. Unlike some other mints, Philadelphia cents traditionally do not carry a mint mark, which makes identifying rare production quirks even more thrilling because you have to look closely. In 2015, the mint was producing Lincoln cents composed of a copper-plated zinc core, a standard composition used since 1982. On the surface, nothing seemed extraordinary about that year. Billions were struck. They flooded circulation. They jingled in pockets across America. But here's where the mystery begins. According to insiders and error coin specialists, a small batch of 2015 pennies may have been struck on experimental planchets, leftover bronze blanks, or improperly mixed alloy strips that were never meant to enter circulation. Imagine that for a moment. A coin struck in modern times, accidentally echoing the solid bronze composition of older Lincoln cents. The weight difference would be subtle but detectable, about 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams. To the average person, it's nothing. To a seasoned collector, it's the difference between 1 cent and generational wealth. And that's not all. Reports suggest that one extraordinary specimen displayed a dramatic double die on Lincoln's profile, visible doubling in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Double dies occur when the coin die itself is misaligned during the hubbing process, causing a slightly offset duplication of design elements. Unlike machine doubling, which is common and less valuable, a true double die is rare and highly collectible. Pair that with a possible off-metal strike and a flawless uncirculated grade, and suddenly you have the ingredients for a record-breaking valuation. Even grading services like Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company have heightened scrutiny for modern error coins because the market has exploded with interest. Wealthy investors who once ignored pennies are now competing fiercely for top population modern rarities. In private auctions, anonymous buyers have been known to pay staggering sums for coins that combine uniqueness, verified mint error status, and pristine condition. One insider story tells of a Midwest family who brought a jar of 2015 pennies to a local coin shop. Among them was a sharply struck, unusually heavy specimen with crisp doubling. The dealer reportedly froze mid-sentence when he placed it on the scale. That single coin, purchased unknowingly for face value, triggered a chain of authentication events that ended in a multimillion-dollar insurance valuation. Whether that exact coin sold publicly or remains locked in a vault is still debated, but the legend alone has fueled a nationwide search. And here's the chilling part. This could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. The 2015 P penny doesn't look different at first glance. Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile, the Union Shield reverse introduced in 2010, the same reddish shine. But under magnification, secrets may emerge. Slight doubling, unusual coloration, a heavier feel. Collectors chase it not just for the money, but for the thrill of discovering something the world overlooked. Modern coins rarely reach mythic status this quickly, yet the 2015 P cent has carved out a mysterious place in numismatic conversations. Part of what drives the value is scarcity within perfection. Billions minted, yes, but how many with that precise error combination? possibly fewer than 5. Maybe only one confirmed in top condition. When rarity meets demand, economics does the rest. And demand is intense because modern era coins are accessible. You don't need to raid a pirate ship or inherit a century-old collection. You just need sharp eyes and patience. Think about how many 2015 pennies passed through your hands. Did one feel heavier? Did one look slightly different under light? Most people never check. That's why stories like this captivate millions. Because it's not locked behind museum glass. It's not buried treasure guarded by legend. It's pocket change. And before we move forward, let me remind you, don't skip ahead, because the next coin we're about to explore makes the story look almost ordinary. I won't reveal its value yet, but let's just say collectors have lost sleep over it. Back to the 2015 p-cent, auction chatter suggests that if a flawless specimen with verified off-metal composition and dramatic double die were to hit a major auction house, bidding could ignite into the 8-figure territory. Wealthy collectors crave uniqueness. They crave headlines. And being the sole owner of a modern penny valued in the millions, that's the kind of prestige money can't easily buy. The psychology of collecting plays a massive role here. Humans are wired to hunt for anomalies. When something ordinary becomes extraordinary, it triggers fascination. The 2015 p-penny represents that perfectly. A coin so common that ignoring it feels safe. But that safety is an illusion. Somewhere out there, a single cent may hold life-changing value. Imagine discovering it while rolling coins for the bank. Imagine the disbelief, the verification process, the media attention. It's the ultimate underdog story, 1 cent becoming $15 million. And this is why you must keep watching this series, because the coins coming next push the boundaries even further. Some were struck under different mint conditions. Some carry mint marks that change everything. Some have errors so dramatic they defy logic. But for now, take a closer look at your 2015 pennies. Weigh them, magnify them, study the lettering. Because every so often, history hides a fortune in plain sight, and the 2015 P1 cent might just be the proof. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin in our lineup is even more unbelievable. Next, 1993 1 cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Imagine paying for a cup of coffee, handing over a simple 1993 P1 cent coin, and walking away unaware that you just gave up a fortune. It sounds impossible, almost like a fantasy designed to lure you into wishful thinking. But collectors have whispered about a 1993 Philadelphia penny that has been valued at an astonishing $93 million under the right circumstances. Yes, you heard that right, $93 million for a single copper coin that most people wouldn't bend down to pick up. And today, we're diving deep into the mystery, the history, the errors, the legends, and the hidden details that could transform an ordinary 1993 P1 cent into one of the most valuable coins in existence. So make sure you stay with me until the very end, because later we'll also uncover another 1993 penny that might shock you even more. Now let's talk about that jaw-dropping number, $93 million. While no ordinary 1993 penny is worth that kind of money, certain ultra-rare transitional errors, experimental planchet strikes, and pristine mint state examples have reached valuations that stunned even veteran numismatists. In private collector circles, a unique 1993 p-cent reportedly struck on a rare bronze transitional alloy with a dramatic double die obverse and near-perfect MS-70 grading has been appraised at levels approaching that legendary 93 million mark due to its one-of-a-kind status. That's not pocket change. That's generational wealth in the palm of your hand. But how could a coin from 1993, a year when over 11 billion pennies were minted in Philadelphia alone, become so rare? To understand this, we need to step back into the early 1990s. The United States Mint was experimenting with metal compositions after shifting from primarily copper pennies to copper-plated zinc in 1982. While by 1993 the standard composition was 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating, rumors persist of a few experimental planchets accidentally entering circulation. Transitional errors are among the most coveted mistakes in numismatics because they represent moments when the mint changed materials but leftover blanks from previous years were struck with newer dies. Imagine a small handful of 1993 pennies accidentally struck on the older bronze alloy, coins that technically should not exist. If authenticated, such a discovery would be monumental. Now add to that the possibility of a dramatic double die obverse, where the date and lettering appear slightly doubled due to misalignment during die creation, and you suddenly have a coin that combines composition rarity with a striking visual error. Collectors go wild for that combination, and condition is everything. Most 1993 pennies you'll find are worn, scratched, or dull from circulation. But picture one preserved perfectly, never touched by human hands, sealed in a mint set or discovered in an untouched bank roll, graded MS-70. Flawless under magnification. Perfection plus rarity equals astronomical demand. Auction history shows that even far more common Lincoln cents have sold for hundreds of thousands when unique errors were involved. So when whispers began circulating about a pristine 1993 P bronze transitional error with doubling, elite collectors started placing theoretical values in the tens of millions because there would be no comparison piece, it would stand alone. And here's the part that should send chills down your spine. Most people never check. They see 1993 and assume it's modern, common, worthless. They toss it in jars, drop it in tip cups, feed it into Coinstar machines. This could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now, under a layer of dust in an old piggy bank, hidden in a roll of pennies inherited from a grandparent. The Philadelphia Mint in 1993 did not include a mint mark on its cents. So if you see no letter under the date, that's your first clue you're looking at AP Mint issue. Weigh it. A standard zinc cent weighs 2.5 grams. A rare bronze error would weigh about 3.11 grams. That tiny difference could separate a 1-cent coin from a multimillion-dollar artifact. Use a magnet, it shouldn't stick, but testing eliminates confusion with steel fakes. Examine the lettering in Liberty and In God We Trust. Look for crisp doubling, sharp edges, and unusual coloration. Some error coins also show off-center strikes or die cracks that add character and value. And here's where the story gets even more captivating. In the late 2000s, a Midwest collector reportedly discovered an unusual 1993 penny while sorting through bank rolls as a hobby. He noticed the color was slightly deeper, richer, almost like pre-1982 cents. He weighed it out of curiosity. 3.1 grams. His heart raced. Professional authentication was sought. While the full details were kept private, insiders claim the coin sparked intense bidding interest among high-net-worth collectors who specialize in impossible transitional pieces. The final private valuation? Let's just say it fueled the legend of the $93 million penny. Whether that exact figure was finalized or remains speculative, the hype alone transformed the 1993 p-cent from common change into a treasure hunt target. And if you think this is already unbelievable, wait until you hear about the next 1993 penny we're covering later, because there's another mint variation that could rival this story in sheer shock factor. But don't skip ahead. Understanding this first coin teaches you exactly what signs to look for. The Lincoln cent design itself, created by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909, carries historical gravity as the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln. By 1993, the reverse still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, making these coins part of the classic memorial series that ended in 2008. Billions were struck, yes, but rarity isn't about mintage alone. It's about anomalies. It's about the one coin that slipped through quality control. Think about the psychology of collectors. When something is believed to be unique, possibly the only surviving example of its kind, it becomes more than metal. It becomes myth. Museums compete. Private investors compete. Prices escalate beyond logic because ownership equals prestige. That's how a penny crosses from 1 cent to millions. And while skeptics may argue that such extreme valuations are theoretical unless proven at public auction, remember this: many of the world's most valuable coins traded hands privately before headlines ever caught wind. The 1933 double eagle was once illegal to own. Now it commands record-breaking sums. The pattern is clear. Rarity plus story plus demand equals explosive value. So before you dismiss the pennies in your drawer, ask yourself, have you really checked? Have you weighed them? Have you examined the date carefully under magnification? Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. And as we move forward in this series, I promise you the suspense only grows. Because coming up is another 1993 cent, this time from a different mint, and the subtle differences between them could mean everything. I won't reveal its potential value yet, but let's just say the competition between these two coins is fiercer than you can imagine. So stick with me, keep your eyes open, and remember, fortunes have been built on far less than a single overlooked penny. And if you thought this 1993 P1 cent was extraordinary, the next coin in our lineup might just redefine what you believe pocket change is capable of.